For all their incredible power, have you ever felt like most AIs are, well, a bit stuck? They can write an amazing poem or summarize a dense article, but they're trapped inside this digital box, totally disconnected from the real, live world. Well, that's all starting to change. Today, we're going to dive into the technology that's finally giving AI hands and feet to actually do things out in the world.
Just think about a simple, everyday request, something you wouldn't even hesitate to ask a friend or an assistant to handle. But for some of the most powerful AIs out there, it's a total non-starter.
If you ask a standard large language model to do this, it's going to fail. It might spit out a nice email template for you to send to the restaurant, sure, but it can't actually look up local spots, check their availability in real time, and then make the booking for you. And why not? Because it has zero connection to the outside world.
And that gets us right to the heart of the problem. You see, most of the AI models we use are basically brains in a jar. They have this incredible wealth of knowledge, but it's all based on the data they were trained on, which is completely frozen in time. A standard LLM is kind of like a brilliant historian who's read every single book published up until last year, but has absolutely no idea what happened 5 minutes ago. It's incredibly knowledgeable, but it's fundamentally disconnected from the now. The real goal is to turn that brain in a jar into a connected agent, something that can get real-time info and actually take action. So, how do we get the AI out of its jar? The answer is a real game-changing pattern that developers are using called tool use, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the bridge between the AI's powerful brain and the dynamic, live-action world of information and services out there. At its heart, tool use, and you'll sometimes hear it called function calling, is simply a way for an AI to access and use other programs or services. Think of it like giving the AI a smartphone with a bunch of specialized apps it can open up whenever it needs to do something its own brain can't, like searching the web, checking the weather, or sending a message. And this visualizes that whole flow perfectly. A person makes a request, but instead of just answering from its static memory, the AI agent realizes, hey, I need some help here. It calls an external tool, gets the info it needs, and then uses that fresh information to give you a real, useful, real-world output. It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. Now, this whole process isn't some kind of black magic. It's actually a very logical step-by-step process. The AI and the tools are in this constant conversation, following a really clear and predictable cycle to get things done. And here's how that loop works, step by step. First, a developer defines what tools are even available. Then, when you make a request, the LLM makes a decision. Do I need a tool for this? If the answer is yes, it generates a very specific call for that tool. That tool then executes, does its job, and sends the result back to the LLM, which then processes that new info to give you your final answer. It's a really elegant little loop, isn't it? Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this actually unlock in the real world? This is where it gets really, really exciting. We're moving beyond just generating text into a world where AI can actually do things. All of a sudden, an AI can get the live weather forecast for you, or check a company's database to see if a product is in stock. It can send an email on your behalf, run a piece of code, or even turn off the smart lights in your house. Basically, any task that can be controlled by a program is now on the table for an AI to handle. And the scale here is so important. An agent isn't just limited to one or two little tricks. It can have access to a massive library of tools: web search, maps, complex calculators, company databases, even other specialized AI agents. It becomes an orchestrator, picking just the right tool for the job at just the right time. So, how are developers actually giving these superpowers to an AI? Let's take a quick peek behind the curtain at a few of the popular frameworks they're using to make all this magic happen. First up, one of the biggest names in this space is LangChain. It's become a go-to for building all sorts of powerful AI applications. What makes LangChain so powerful is actually its simplicity. A developer can basically just label a function in their code with something called a decorator, the @tool command you see here, and that instantly makes that function available to the AI. Then, another component called the agent executor handles all the complex plumbing in the background, letting the agent find and use that tool whenever it needs it. Okay, another really interesting approach comes from a framework called Crew AI, which is designed with a very specific idea in mind: collaboration. Instead of just one AI, this framework lets developers create whole teams of AI agents that work together.
So you can define an agent with a specific role, say a financial analyst, give it specialized tools like a live stock price lookup, and then assign it a task to complete. It's literally like building and managing a digital project team.
And finally, we've got the Google Agent Developer Kit, or ADK, which is all about getting a massive head start.
The whole focus here is on efficiency. It gives developers incredibly powerful pre-built tools right out of the box. So with just a few lines of code, a developer can give an agent the full power of Google Search, a secure place to run code, or the ability to search across a company's private documents. It's a huge leg up. So when you put all of this together, it's clear we're witnessing a really profound shift. This isn't just some small feature update. The ability to use tools is fundamentally changing what an AI is and what it's capable of becoming. And this really is the core of the whole transformation. We are moving beyond these passive text generators and into the era of active agents. These are AIs that can actually sense the current state of the world, reason about what to do next, and then act on that decision. And this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about for the future. As these AI agents become more and more capable with access to more powerful tools, they start to look less like simple assistants that just follow commands, and a lot more like active, contributing colleagues. Where we end up drawing that line is something we're all going to be figuring out together.